Hey everyone, I'm Dylan, and this is my life. So I'm not going to do the singing intro for this video, because I'm just going to do a quick video tag response to DPBookReviews. And it is the Vampires vs. Werewolves tag. He tagged me a long time ago, and I'm finally doing it on the last day you're supposed to do it. So I'm just going to get it up, and I will tell you my thoughts on this. So, for a very long time, I wasn't really sure what team I would be on, but then I finally came to a decision. And I'm Team Werewolf. Don't know what gave that away. Yes, wolves are my absolute favorite animal of all time. I love them to death. That's one reason why Wolf's Rain is one of my favorite animes of all time. I just love wolves. I think they're such misunderstood creatures, and they're just so beautiful, and I personally hate wolf hunting. I wish that it would be just stop, and it's pointless, and I hate it, but what can you do? And I think the same thing with werewolves. I think they're also very misunderstood creatures, because everyone thinks of them as horrible monsters, and it's just kind of sad, really, because they really don't have a choice. I haven't really read that many werewolf novels, so I'm kind of going off of the werewolf movies, which I absolutely love. The Howling being my favorite. Although American Werewolf in London really underlined the whole conflict between werewolves and what goes on with the psyche and how a person feels, and I love that movie as well. Now with vampires, they turn into a vampire once, and then they're always a vampire, which I guess could be worse than turning into one every night or every full moon. But then again, here's another thing that's a little bit different. When werewolves change into a werewolf, they are forced to kill people. Why? Just to kill people. Whereas vampires kill people to survive, and that's because they have to live on blood. In that sense, I would hate to be a werewolf, because you have to think of what you would do. What would go on in your mind. You would just turn into this monster on the full moon or at night or whatever, and just go on this bloodthirsty rave, killing people. I don't know about you, but I'd probably go into a psych hospital. Then again, that's just the movies, and there are also books that talk about how werewolves is actually a good power. And I think that's where the young adult fiction kind of goes into how werewolves are good, and it's cool to become a werewolf. And there lies another reason why I love werewolves. I love the idea of being able to turn into an animal. For example, my favorite episode of Rugrats was the episode where they all had superpowers, and Tommy turned into the changeling and can turn into any animal. I want that power. Not even kidding, I want that power so bad. And then that's another reason why I love the Animorphs. If you've ever watched that show or read the books, you're probably in love with them, because I think that's the coolest idea ever. Not to mention that werewolves have been in mythology, and they've been around a lot longer than vampires have, I think. I researched this a while ago, so I might be a little bit wrong, but I believe it started in Greek mythology, is when the werewolf folklore started. I'm not saying I don't like vampires. I love vampires. I think they're great. I haven't read enough werewolf books, but I still love werewolves. Yeah, they're just awesome. My favorite werewolf novel is The Wolf's Hour by Robert McCammon. That is just awesome, and I will tell you why. It is about this English assassin who is living in World War II, and he is a werewolf, and he assassinates Nazis. Doesn't get much more awesome than that. I also have a lot of other werewolf novels I want to read, including the young adult novels of Nightshade. I want to read 13 to Life by Shannon Delaney, and also Raised by Wolves by Julie Lynn Barnes, I think. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, I'm sorry. But yes, I think the werewolves go through a lot more pain than vampires do, like internal pain, and going through having to change. I think that's just awful. Not saying that vampires don't have, the change from a human to vampire isn't awful, but they have to do that once. Werewolves essentially have to do it either every night or every full moon. I don't think I can go through that stress at all. Plus, if you're talking about American Werewolf in London, when you kill somebody, their soul goes into limbo. How would you feel if you killed your girlfriend or best friend and their soul could not move on? I would kill myself, and that's what the main character has to go through, is what he's going to do, what's going to happen to him, what's going to happen to the people. It's just an awesome movie. If you haven't checked it out, it's rated R, so don't watch it if you're too young, but check out The Howling and check out the American Werewolf in London, as well as Teen Wolf. I love that movie. And also, there was one more I was going to talk about. Cursed By, which is directed by Wes Craven, who is the god of horror films, in my opinion. Well, horror/thriller films, if you want to call it that. But I'm going off topic. I say werewolves are far superior to vampires. There's my little argument. I still love vampires. I still love Salem's Lot and Anne Rice. Her novels are amazing. And I also love I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. All great vampire novels. You should all check them out. But I am still Team Werewolf. And that is all I have to say for this. Thank you so much, DP Book Reviews, for tagging me. I really appreciate it. This was really fun. And that was another chapter in my life.